Good morning. It's you don't have to have your woolies on this morning. Isn't that nice? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good thing. So welcome to Unity of Bellingham. We're really happy that you're here today. Thank you. I'm Shari Humes. I'm the platform assistant. And golly, we've got a great lineup of music and wisdom from Frank, and it's the talk of his title is Wei of Christ, and so that should be good because that's being in the flow. So there we go. The music team today. Oh, we've got a lot of great music. We have Heartdream with us today. And we have Kathy and Marcia as well. Thank you.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind and hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love.
I wanted to lead the prayer this morning, especially because this week there was one of our congregants who's made her transition. I think most people know Liz Layton made her transition last week. So just a little bit of information, and then we want to sink into a prayer. Her family called us when they found out, and it was sweet. I think Kathy Murray has since been in touch with them, and Greg and Deborah, thanks y'all for working with the family. Her sister Mary and Mary's husband, her brother-in-law Frank. And that's been sweet. And I talked to them a bit about what kind of memorial, a celebration of life for Liz. So I'll ask you guys a question. You can answer me. What did Liz love more than anything? What did she do here that she loved to do? What's that? Hugs, yeah. What else? Sing, hug, singing. What did she like to lead? Well, she was platform, and that's going to work into it. You all correct. What else? What was she in charge of so often? What's that? The kitchen. Potlucks. Thanksgiving. She loved potlucks. So I know it's a little unorthodox. And you know, at Unity, we're all about orthodoxy, right? So I talked to the family and I said, I think maybe the best way to honor Liz is let's do a celebration of life on the next potluck in April. So on Sunday, I know it's a little unusual, we're gonna do a service kind of shortened, and then we're gonna squeeze right into a celebration of life for Liz. It'll be April 6th. And we'll have first Sunday potluck like we always do. And it just feels like the perfect opportunity to celebrate our friend. And part of it is, of course, we'll be bringing a lot of Liz into the service because we got her on the YouTube. Because she did love to be the service assistant. And someone told me that they've known her since 80, I think the earliest is 84? Is when she's been here. Anyone know her before that? I thought, Jace got me, yeah. So here's a member who's been with us for a long time. And I'm not going to say she was with us. She is with us. I invite her and I call her forward as one of our Unity of Bellingham ancestors. In a long line of ancestors who continue to bless this community, who haven't necessarily left the community. They've just transitioned to be part of the community in a new way. Not only do I honor all the ancestors of Unity of Bellingham, but the community right now, we look around the room and we know there's probably another 20, 30 people not here today, and we think that's the community. But the community has this lineage of ancestors. And not only that, there are people who are going to be part of Unity of Bellingham who, as of this day, don't even know what unity means. They haven't even heard of unity yet. And they are going to be part of it. And the stream of consciousness is pulling forward and inviting them in. And part of that stream of consciousness, that invitation, is each one of us in the room who get to open and say, you're invited into this stream, into this community, into this experience, into this opportunity to grow into the mind of Christ, which we call Unity of Bellingham. So I want to ask you, and I'm going to use some words for this prayer. I went back and looked online, and I wrote down some words that Liz said. So this prayer for Liz, especially, and for all of us, will partly be from words that she used. So if you'd be willing to close your eyes and take that deep breath and feel your shoulders. Let them relax a bit. You shrug them if you want. Maybe loosen your neck a little bit. Feel your feet flat on the floor. Take another deep breath. And invite you into that very presence of your heart. You can put your hand on your heart if you'd like. That very place that we can go within the truth of our being, that place of connection, that place of consciousness. You may know it as the temple of your heart, the ashram of your soul, that very sacred spot that transcends the limitation of your mortal life and extends into the depth of your eternal nature. Just feel that. Just feel that. And in that place of your heart, we connect with not only the community present, but we connect with our ancestors. We connect with those who are coming. We connect with all those present in the world. We expand our heart. We expand our awakened awareness of consciousness with an energy of compassion, with an energy of kindness, with an energy of vulnerability. As difficult as it may be, sometimes we say yes to knowing our connection with all things thriving and all things suffering. From that place in our heart, we are in the stream of the connection and the harmony of all of life, and its comings and its goings in form in different ways as it shows up to be present in the material expression and then moves back into the field of eternity. We feel all of that in that temple of our hearts. Taking a breath again. Just feeling that connected energy in your heart. And I quote Liz Layton, feel that space within. Feel peace. Feel comfort. Here in this space, you know you are one with divine spirit. And say in your inner mind's eye, I live in harmony with all. Know this truth, I live in harmony with all. Harmony is my cord of connection. Harmony is my cord to all relationships. I honor the ideas of others. I give space for ideas that are different from mine. I do my part to foster the truth of unity of all beings. I find new ways to foster peace. I find new ways to foster agreement. I work for the common goal of harmony and peace for all beings. And Liz prays with us, I work for the common goal of harmony and peace with all beings. This was Liz's last prayer when she was podium last week. This was the prayer she leaves us with. And we can sit in the resonance of that. I work for the harmony and the peace of all beings. Thank you, Liz. Take a breath. And in that energy, stay in this place of quiet and contemplative as we have our meditation.
In this quiet, know that your breath signals your body to relax and your mind to quiet. You can find calm within yourself and inner peace by just following your breath. So as you breathe, relax and allow. Picture the rhythm within as waves lapping along a long stretch of open beach. The wavelet comes in. The wavelet goes out. Breathing in, breathing out. The ocean waters are always in the flow of Wu Wei. the ease and flow of tides and currents. Wu Wei feels like harmony within, allowing ease and flow. Affirm within, I feel the harmony I desire. I choose harmony in my relationships. I allow myself to thrive. I like ease and flow throughout my day. As the sound bowls sing to you, focus and feel your way into allowing harmony.
shivering hearts steal.
The joy of our loves,
Our ability to heal. Forgiveness frees our heart, skipping over stones of rage and fear, melting into pure love like a mighty river running clear.
cycles of our lives,
Endless trials from our past,
dissolve with our faith
into true peace that lasts. Forgiveness frees our heart, skipping over stones of rage and fear, melting into pure love like a mighty river running clear.
in the cradle
Of forgiveness, confident in love, our soul expands forever on the wings of a dove. Forgiveness frees our heart, skipping over stones of rage and fear, melting into pure love like a mighty river running clear. Forgiveness frees our heart, skipping over stones of rage and fear, melting into pure love like a mighty river running clear, like a mighty river running clear, like a mighty river running clear.
Oh, I'm just so grateful today for the bowls. We've been listening to those. I've been tuning into them for a while, and all of a sudden I've started trying to say, okay, with each bowl, where is it hitting me? Which have you do this like which chakra do it? And I'm like, whoa, and the theme of the year, my theme of the year that I've been playing with is harmony. Harmony. I feel this deep sort of opening and a need and longing for harmony, and not like it's not there and I need to make it, but it's there and I need to tune into it. And so like with the belt, and then there was a lot of A minor in that song. I love that chord. It's just, A minor is like, oh, there's A minor. Oh, like, oh, your A minor, and then the harmony in your words. And I just, harmony. The talk today is called the Wei of Christ. And maybe that's a phrase. I've used it many times. I know Shari's shared it in her meditations many times. Jay Scott was saying, what's the actual definition of it? To help with coming up with an icon or a picture for the bulletin. It's like I don't know. It's more like to explain it. It's a deep concept. It's a deep Taoist concept. And my sense of it is instead of trying to define it, let me tell you an experience. After Dom and Joy's wedding, which was in Idaho, Diane and I and Joy and some friends, we all went to the Tetons, the Grand Tetons. And while we're there, we got a raft trip. Usually when we go, we get a raft trip. It's just like, rapids, and you're like, whoa, what'd you get? And they're like, no, this is a raft trip that just lets you see the park. We're not going through white water. It's just, you just kick back and put your feet, and you would just see the park. It's a great, you won't see it any other way because the road you only see so much, but on the river, you're out there seeing things. And so the guide said, so we're talking to the guy, how long have you been on this river? He says, oh, I keep coming back. I think he said it was like his 15th year. I said, you keep coming back to the same river? He goes, well, it's the same river, sorta. I mean, it is the same river. I said, what do you mean? He's like, you see, those that rock field over there, that scree field, that used to be the river. But the rocks all kind of cascaded in, and it blocked the river, so the river turned. And it went in a different direction. Yeah, so I'm going down this river, and it's like, remember back when 6 years ago, the river was like a mile over there, and now the river's over here. And he said last year, oh, there was this great, see that forest over there? That's where the river was. But then there was these beavers, and they built a dam. So now the river's over here. And we just, and so every year I come back, it's like, where's the river now? And it's the same river. I can see somebody who likes to draw a map and say, this is the way it should be. And they go, you've messed up my map again. Now the river does this. Now the river does that. Now the river took out the bridge, and that restaurant that was there for, 120 years, the river changed, and now that restaurant isn't there. Because the river, this energy of the river, oh, it's so calm. You just sit on the river and lean back. True. And you flow, and it moves, and you're in sync with it. That's how it feels. And if you get in the way, it could either go around or slowly wear you down or knock you over. This is the Wu Wei of things. This is like being in the energetic flow of the universe. It's like being in this flow of the river that will not be denied. It is going to flow. It is going to live its truth, its purpose, its being, its flow, its energy. And if you get in the way, well, just go around. Wu Wei, they said, the masters used to say, Wu Wei is like a person who's just a little bit drunk. It's not encouraging inebriation, right? That's not the point. Wu Wei is somebody that kind of walks and bumps her knee and goes, whoa, that's okay, and just keeps going. Do you know what I mean? Have you been in that state? The Wu Wei master falls off the back of the ox cart, hits the ground, and goes, whoa, well, that was fun, and just keeps going. The person who's stiff and firm falls off and breaks a bone because they're stiff. We're tight. We're this is right and this is wrong. The Wei person goes, that's a paradox. That works out. It didn't seem like it should, but look at that. Little bit drunkish, like the river. There's a dam. Oh, those rascally beavers. I'll go this way. The Wu Wei of the Christ. So I was pondering this sense of the Wu Wei, and I found a few pieces, and this comes from a little Eric Butterworth, a little Wayne Teasdale that wrote a book about the mystic heart, where he writes a lot about the Taoist Catholic. That's his thing. This Taoist Catholic monk, he calls himself. Imagine I liked his writing. The Unity person, Eric Butterworth, and a piece called The Holy Spirit Regeneration, which I found on truthunity.net, which is an archive of Unity teachings, unpublished Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, and all sorts of teachings. And I read in that something, and I've shared with you before, but I want to balance a prayer. It's a Wu Wei prayer. You've heard it before. It's a Hawaiian prayer, but I want to put it to you in a new context. And we call it Ho'oponopono. And it's a very simple prayer that goes like this. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Ooh. Someone repeated this to me. He goes, yeah, I remember that prayer. It's like I forgive you. That's how it starts, right? I forgive somebody else. It's like, no. You start with, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And the thing about it is, this prayer allows ownership of much bigger pieces in our life. I'm saying it's a wu-wei prayer because it's a prayer that does this very subtle movement of connection and correlation and harmony in our life. And it's a prayer Myrtle Fillmore, Unity co-founder Myrtle Fillmore, talks about how she used to go through every part of her body, look at the cells of her liver, of her kidney, of her heart, of her lungs, every cell, and she would just scan her body and go, I'm sorry, forgive me. If you're upset, I'm not, forgive me. Maybe I didn't eat right, maybe I'm not breathing. Maybe it has nothing to do with what I'm doing physically and food. It might, that's potent. But maybe it has to do about the thoughts that I'm holding in mind that are creating tension in my body. Maybe it's a matter of the beliefs I choose to believe that are creating an energy that's not new way, but it's like, oh, but this is right and that's wrong, and I'm all stiff and I fall off the cart, like boom, versus maybe I can live in the paradox a little bit more. We can not only do this as individuals to ourselves, but in our relationships. What if we come into a relationship in conflict? Oh, we're right though, right? But we start with, I'm sorry. Because whatever in this relationship I'm holding seems to be off, I can start with, what's my role in that? I mean, I know it's her fault, but still, what's my role in that? You laugh because you know what I'm talking about. Where do I start? I'm sorry, please forgive me. And what if we as a community could say it to other parts of the community? What if we as what if in the body politic, we can start with, instead of rigidity, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Oh, but right. I'm sorry. What is my role in all this? In the unity literature, they talk about levels, and we've talked about this before. I want to introduce it in this sense of this wu-wei, this flexibility, this holy prayer, this whole Ho'oponopono, which really has to do with how I'm going to hold the energy. And in the unity literature, it talks about these, it's not stages of consciousness like I'm here, then I'm here, then I'm here. It's like all of these potentialities are open and available to us at all time. We just have to say, oh, which place am I responding from? Am I living from? What am I holding right now? And the first one is the mortal mind that thinks that the reality, it's like there's a philosophical idea called realism. And realism says what you see is what there is. This is it, the physical. Ooh, we could do a lot of talk about the enlightenment and the movement into thinking the reality is on that plane. But then there's a great story, and I'm going to parallel this, and we all know it. It's called the prodigal child. The child, there's two children of a homeowner, and one of them says, I'm leaving, I'm out of here, give me my money, I'm gone, I'm going out to conquer the world, and goes out and spends all the money, and there's a famine in the land, and this prodigal is saying to themselves, oh my God, I thought this was all there was. I thought with my fortune I could slay and this ain't working. Living on the physical plane alone is leaving me feeling desperate and in despair, and I don't understand it. And the mortal mind thinks this is all there is, and eventually, like the prodigal, this child says that had a new idea. They changed their mind. They said, there is a way back where my home was, where there was always plenty of food, where things were in harmony, where everybody was getting along. There is a state of being. This isn't a place in the world. This is a state of consciousness. The prodigal says, I am going to go back. And when I go back, I'm going to tell this parent, this homeowner, this place, think of it as a place. Who is the homeowner? When you go back home, it says the prodigal's going to go back and face that person, that homeowner, that leader, that father, that mother, the head of the household. Who is that? It's my own self calling me home, capital S, not the ego self. It's the self of me, that sacred place. It's the home. We prayed into the temple of the heart, the ashram of the soul, that place of divine resonance in consciousness. That's home. And what does this prodigal child say? What does she say? She says, I am going to go back home and I'm going to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. This is Ho'oponopono. This is the Gospel of Luke. This is the story. This is this pattern. I'm going to go home and say, what was I thinking, man? That's it. What was I thinking? What was I believing? What was I choosing to hold in consciousness? Unity's third principle, Ho'oponopono, Gospel of Luke, the Tao. What's going on? What am I thinking? And so as the story goes, this is the stage in the unity literature. We call that moving away from the stent of mortal consciousness and all of a sudden becoming a metaphysician. Stop seeing the reality as the reality, but we start seeing the reality as, what does that stand for in consciousness? It's how we read Scripture. It's not history. I mean, there's some historical aspects to it, certainly. But it's not meant to be read only as a history book. It's like, what do these symbols mean that talk about what's going on in my consciousness? Because what's really real that we can only say for sure is what's going on in consciousness. And what's going on, you all know quantum mechanics. What's going on, what you think's happening in the physical world? It ain't that. We look around and go, you're physical, you're it. You're mostly empty space. Quantum mechanics is like, you're just an energy field of vibration that I think I can see. And not only that, you're mostly dark matter and dark energy, and I don't even know what you are. So what is it, We don't know in the physical plane what anything is. But our consciousness, the way we hold it, and so life is about consciousness. Life is about the vibrational pattern, the mix. Life is about vibrating into the energy. The fullness of life is aligning ourselves with the fullness of the Christ, or the Atman, we call it, or the essential essence of our nature, the sacred self, the sacred transcendent reality of being, the ground of all being that aligns with the divine transcendent energies. There's so many words for it, but it's that. Whatever you want to say it, that thing. And so we become the metaphysician where now all of a sudden this world starts seeing, and then we start saying, wow, we look around and we say, I'm sorry, forgive me, man, I have been missing it and I want to see it. And the next stage is the stage of the mystic. And the stage of the mystic is this thing where we start saying, like the river, I'm flowing, but I'm not flowing, like in contrast with you. I'm flowing with you. Yeah, I love you. I love the game. I love what's afoot. There is a concept, and it's not just our culture, and it's been around forever, and you've probably heard this term before, but it's so useful. It's called playing the zero-sum game. And the zero-sum game means if we're playing and there's $200 ante in the pot and I win, I get 200 and you lose 200. And plus 200 and minus 200, zero. It's always zero. I win, you lose. There's no other way. I can't win unless you lose. That's zero-sum thinking. This is a game Diane and I love. You guys play this big boogle? You put all the dice in and you mix it up, and then you get like a 3-minute timer and you have to see how many words you can make by connecting all the little letters. Who's played this game? Right? Isn't it great? Yeah. It's noisy, it makes noise, and you yell at each other, and you go, stop writing so many words, because then everyone's writing words. Oh, you can play this game and go like, who gets the most points by who got the most words? You could. You could say, let's make this a zero-sum game, so at the end of the day, Diane, we're going to have fun together. One of us is going to lose. Or you could say, why don't we just let's just see that each of us, if we can get more points than last time. Or let's see who can have the funnest word. Or let's say, who can make a long word? Or let's say we can switch our word thing and have fun with it so that in the end, it's not a zero sum. Wasn't this fun to play together? I read a thing of you can play Monopoly. You guys play Monopoly when you were kids? And you can win the Monopoly game. I once won the game and my sister said, yeah, I can't stand it. She threw all the money. People get so mad. There's ways to play Monopoly now where everybody can team up and you beat the bank. There's almost so much money, right, in the game thing. So you team up and you make plans, and I'll split that hotel with you, and we all run, and we keep trying, and I'll let you go on that payment, but you pay the money, and you try to make the most money. If the game board runs out of the fake money in the game, you win, everybody wins. You could. What kind of game we want to play is totally a decision about how. And we know, it's easy to beat up on the body politic and what's going on and talk about your zero-sum game. I win, you lose. A lot of that going around. And I can point fingers, but you know how many fingers are coming back at me when I do? 3 come back. And so the mystic energy sees it different. The mystic energy says, I want to enter into this because I love you. Because I love you. I want to find a way where we stay in that harmonization of love. As a matter of fact, love may be a synonym of the word harmony. You can see it that way too. This is this level of consciousness where I'm going to choose love. Don't we have t-shirts? I choose love. So mystic, unity of Bellingham, all these mystics here. Do we choose love? When we play Monopoly, do we choose love? When we're having a difficult time with a friend or partner, do we choose love? This mystic energy sees not the zero-sum game, says, it's a choice. It's how we think. I'm going to start not believing that the name of the game is win-lose. I'm going to start thinking the name of game is how do we all win? How do we make this so everybody wins? And it does seem, going back to the reality, on the place of the real, well, there's only so much. There's limitations. If somebody gets, someone loses. But in the energy of divine mind, there is so many divine ideas and creativity and potentiality and possibility that we can all find a way to make sure on the physical plane that there's a way where everybody wins, because it starts not on, and we can't solve these problems on this low level of the mortal mind. We solve them on the energy of the mystic mind, and we get beyond to the higher levels of what we choose to think and believe, and from that energy, then we can solve the problems on this plane. But we solve them from this plane. We move into the spirit, the mystic. Oh, and there's one more level. There's yet one more level. And if the mystic says, I love you, there's one piece that's still missing. And the metaphysician says, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I'm going to see it different. And then we get to that energy where I love you. I do see it different. I feel different. I feel the connection. The love implies a sense of you're there and I'm here and we connect. I love you. And the final level of consciousness, the final level that I know of, that we write of, and who knows what other levels there are, is the master. And the master doesn't say, I love you like you're over there and I'm here. The master sees we're one. We're one. We're it. And the divine flow is so present to me that, like Jesus, when Jesus went to heal, and he went to heal people, what did he say? There's one beautiful part where he says, he raises Lazarus, and he says, thank you. Thank you, divine Father. Thank you, Mother. Thank you, Source. I know you always hear me, but I'm going to say this so everybody knows what's going on. Thank you. Thank you. Then he says, Lazarus, come out. Lazarus, come out. Living in an energy of just ongoing gratitude for all that is. All that is. So let me say that again. all. That's a hard word. Yeah, but what about no all? Yeah, but yeah, all. But you don't know how sad that makes me. I do. I know the grief. All. You don't know how bad that really sucks. I do. And we get in this energy of the gratitude of this allness, of this experience of the divine nature of ourselves in our lives. And the master lives in thank you. The mystic lives in I love you. The metaphysician lives in I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Put them together. And you've got this energy, this spiritual practice that allows us to explore all the potentialities of the movement of our lives into this connective energy. So let me just end on a reflection. Maybe just close your eyes if you would. And just keep that energy in your life, that I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And let your consciousness look out and ask yourself, is there a place I am playing a zero-sum game right now where I really want to win and I want to come at your expense of losing? And let your imagination just expand. This could be in the world of politics. It could be in your job. It can be in a relationship. It can be a tussle you're having inside your own consciousness about a decision you're making. It can be a decision we're making cooperatively. See what comes up. In what place are we saying, I want to win and you need to lose? Body, friend, partner, neighbor, other spiritual tradition, other kind of person. Someone who thinks different, believes different, marries different, shows up in their presence different. Okay, when you find that place, give one example in your own personal life. Bring that to the place again, once again, that very temple of your heart. Bring it there. Offer it as an offering and say to that component of your believing, your thinking, your holding, your energy, your vibration, let's clean it up. Let's clean it up. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Yeah. So I leave you with that spiritual practice that allows us all to move out of mortal mind, the limitations of mortal mind, and expand ourselves into the journey of metaphysician, mystic, moving to those times and those places we can feel the fullness of being spiritual master. It is your birthright. It is what we're being called to. It's not even an energy of, well, if you can, that would be good. No, we're being called to that. We're emerging to it. The divine source is going, come on. This is your birthright. This is who you are. You are the Christ. You are the Christ. Live that. Breathe that. Know that. Practice that. So it is. So it is. Just take that into silence for a minute. Yeah, so it is. Boy, a year with the theme of harmony. We got a lot of harmony. Thanks, y'all. All four of you for the harmonious music today. So a couple things. I did mention, because we were speaking of Liz, that April 6th potluck will be her celebration of life. And I don't know if we announced it last week, but Carrie's celebration of life is March 22nd, which is a Saturday. There was earlier, we're going to do sort of a visioning process here at Unity of Bellingham. That was going to be the date. It's not going to be the date now. There's many reasons for that. First off, because we're going to do Carrie's memorial instead. But I just sort of own up to, to do the visioning process. What is the right space to be in when as a community we do that? And just for me, I think with Carrie's passing and Liz, it's just been a lot of, I've been feeling, let's just do this. Let's focus on the people we love and let's do this process now. And also, you could see post-election, there was a lot of, you can see it in so many ways, anxieties and fears, and feels like there's a need to do these spiritual practices to get to the point of harmony with all sorts of realities, including ourselves. Let's get to a place where we're in a good place, a place of vision, and then let's do our visioning from that space. So we're going to put it off for just a little bit. So anyhow, March 22nd is a Saturday, 3 o'clock? 3 to 5. So, and there'll be an announcement for that. Right here. Yeah, we'll do it. And maybe we can go back and find some, we have Carrie having done things here too. We can celebrate some of the things she's done, yeah. Also, we do have a sign up for, it's a combination of new members, but also Unity Basics. And we've done this every year, right at the start of the year, for anybody that wants to be a new member or renew their membership, or go, you know what, it is now time for me to go back and look at some basic ABCs of Unity. And I think Melinda is going to be part of it with Dr. Emily Cady, and we'll do, that's a seminal work of Unity. And then there's going to be, with me, some things about some of the Unity history. So if you're always wondering, talk about our ancestors. It's nice every now and then to stop and talk about, look at these people, these men and women who we've built this tradition on, so we have a strong foundation from them, and then we turn and go, okay, now what's ours to do? Now tag, we're it. Now how do we continue this beautiful tradition going forward? And so we'll take a look at that. It's 3 classes. It's interrupted on one Sunday because we're going to have a contemplative service. In traditional Christianity, they've often called the first day of Lent Ash Wednesday. Has anyone gone to an Ash Wednesday in their life and got the ashes? Yeah, okay. That's something traditional Christians do, Catholics and the whole, that. But we're going to do it a little different. It's going to be a contemplative service, and we're going to call it Stardust Wednesday. This is something we did a couple years ago. So instead of ashes, which remember you are dust, and to dust you shall return, remember you are made of the stuff of the universe. That's the nature of your being. So we're going to do a contemplative service that has to called Stardust Wednesday. We're going to have some special music. I have to ask some musicians about what they're willing to do. If I'm looking at you, you know what I'm talking about. I'll talk to you later. But also we'll have some play. And we did this a couple years ago, but we're evolving it. There's been, if you have never come to one of our special contemplative services, it's an amazing treat. It's more quiet. Reflections. Oftentimes, it's nothing but candlelight here. We do them in the evening, and they're really gorgeous. So mark it on your calendar, March 5th, Stardust Wednesday. And it's the first day of Lent. Let me see. Someone reminded me, many years ago, we talked about, and this fall, it even fell off my list, but every night, this is an old Unity tradition, that you set your alarm or set your clock to 9 o'clock p.m. 9 o'clock p.m. And when the alarm goes off, you just pause whatever you're doing for just a minute, and you offer a prayer for the community, a prayer for Unity of Bellingham, or just a prayer for whatever it is on your mind. And I'm going to suggest to you, I won't suggest to you, I'll tell you what I do. 9 o'clock goes off. The other day, we were watching a TV show. I turned off the remote, and I got in the middle of the room. Oh my gosh. And I just said, here's my prayer. Oh my God. Roar! And I just let it loose. God can handle it. There was even some choice words, not suitable for Sunday. God can handle it. And so much of my personal prayer life has to do with silence and meditation and going to the quiet and journaling. 9:00 p.m. Oh yeah. Let it loose. Here I am, God. It's 9:00 and what the? Rah, rah, rah. And here, let's get it together. Divine. And at the end of it, I calm myself down and I'm like, okay, God, we're in a good place. Yeah, God's working in me. God's got it. How does God have? I love people say God's got it. Sure. How does God have it? Where's the hands of God? You can raise them. Where's the feet of God? Where's the energy? Here we are. God's got it. Yeah, what's ours to do? Anyhow, 9:00 p.m. And with your cell phone now, it's pretty easy to set an alarm at 9 p.m. Okay. LM's not here. I wanted to thank her I think we left our train station. Yeah, big joke. For all of you that were here last night, we turned the room into a train car. And there was even I don't know if the tape is still there from the body. Yeah. And there was clues all over, and it's like a big clue game. We turned the room into a clue game, including characters that were pretty funny, Shari and others who, anyhow, the Queen, yes. And, oh yeah, Hugh done it. Was actually, we found out last night, the actual person who did it was a person named Hugh Dunnett. Yeah, I knew it was you. Yeah, Claire, yeah. You can't get away with it. Yeah, I figured it out. Yeah, anyhow, so thank you, LM, wherever you are. She's probably sleeping in. I know my alarm, it was hard to get up today. The chaplain today is, Helga, Malin is chaplain today, if you want a moment of prayer. And the other thing is, we always announce, now the annual meeting's coming up at the last weekend of March. So here's officially want to announce a couple times before, because we need to know 30 days before who the new candidates are for the board. And while there's been a selection committee, we've talked to some people, who knows, there might be people that really have been wanting to be on the board, but we didn't realize. So here's an official announcement, and we'll put it out once on the bulletin. If you do want to put your name in for a 3-year term for the board of directors for Unity of Bellingham, please see Greg, or who else would be on Malin, Malin or Greg, and let them know that you'd want to be on the board for a 3-year term starting at the end of March. Okay, that's it. Anything else? Oh, cell phone. There's a missing cell phone. Does anyone find a cell phone? Jana went to get her phone last night. I think in the flurry of cleaning up, it's missing. Okay, if you took a box home or something, check the box and see if you got a cell phone. And one other thing. Oh, this month. So that will be next weekend, next Friday? Okay, not this Friday, but next. So we moved art night. And if you don't know, talk to Melinda about it. If you ever wonder what all these pictures are on the wall, Friday night art night is really a hoot. It's a hoot and it's amazing. So talk to Melinda about that. Okay.